Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Family Sedan channel. Now, for some people, I understand it seems like the end of the world with the implosion of the fraud that was FTX, this is the world's second largest cryptocurrency exchange, until it just imploded a few days ago. I understand it's scary times for many, and really everybody in the world of crypto, like I've been saying the last couple days, everybody's been harmed. The people who were most harmed are those who couldn't get their funds out of FTX before the collapse. But even so, and as admittedly as bad as that is, I'm not making light of how horrendous it is and how disgusting it is, and Sam Bankman-Fried deserves to go to prison. Not to make light of it, but it sure doesn't seem like the end of the world. It really doesn't. And I think we could use a little optimism here. In fact, things have been looking very interesting and very positive for XRP specifically. Check out this. Like, the number of new XRP accounts has just been skyrocketing. We're talking like a tenfold increase. I'll show you a chart. We've got volume for XRP up 111% over the last 24 hours. We've got the price of XRP absolutely popping. While most of the, for most of the last 24 hours, in fact, XRP was the only top 10 crypto that was up, and it was up a lot. And the market's been trending a little bit up in more recent hours, but still, XRP substantially outperforming everyone else. And then there's news, and check this out, because look, again, it's always the end of the world. How many people have you seen, positing these ideas of, okay, well, with this collapse, the entire crypto asset class, the whole industry, we're now set back by 5 years. How many people have you say that? They're just arbitrarily choosing these numbers. I've seen them. Some of them, though, the kind of hedge their bets to be like, it's probably 4 or 5 years, or 3 to 5 years, or maybe 2 to 5 years. We're set back that much. Are we really, though? Look, some people are burnt, fine, I got it, they're out of crypto, no longer interested, some institutions even. But I've got a story to share with you indicating that there's no shortage of institutions that saw the latest chaos as an opportunity, and they were buying cryptocurrency. It's the same way that I treated it. It's just not the way that the typical retail speculator treats it. And look, it doesn't mean that things won't get worse before they get better. In fact, if I had to bet, I bet things do to some degree get worse before they get better, because there's as everyone calls it in the industry, a contagion out there, because FTX had their mitts on so many firms. But even so, this is never going to be the end of the world. It's horrible for so many people, and we can all, as human beings, feel sympathy and empathy. Of course we can. But that doesn't mean it's the end of the world. There's so much opportunity here, and it's okay to recognize that. But before sharing additional information and thoughts on this, I do want to be clear that I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice. And you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Look at this glorious top 10 list on Live Coin Watch. Isn't this just a sight to behold? XRP over the last 24 hours up, as I started recording this, is almost at 14%. It's now 13.34%. And you can see there is some green in the top 10, don't get me wrong. But it's more like 4 to 6% by and large. And when I checked this afternoon, everything was in the red except for XRP, which at the time was up 8%. I'm like, oh, well, that's interesting. So you got XRP 37 cents, Bitcoin at $16,753. By the way, XRP was as low as 32 cents, as high as 39 cents within the last 24 hours. Bitcoin got as low as 15,800-ish and as high as 17,100. So it's been volatile. It is crypto after all. Crypto fear and greed index at 22 out of 100, indicating extreme fear. We'd have it no other way, though, would we? Of course, this is par for the course, my friends. Par for the course. But even so, how about this for a shocking metric? And I think I know why this is what it is. For those of you not looking, the chart in the middle of the screen here is the number of new XRP accounts activated, and I've got it going back to the middle of October 15th here. And you can see what was pretty normal at the time, if you go back about a month, anywhere from like, I don't know, call it 12 or 1,300 accounts a day, something like that. That'd be a pretty normal day, 1,100 maybe new accounts per day. And today, so far, there have been 8,470 new accounts. Yesterday, 9,934. The day before that, 5,309. And so you kind of get the idea, and you can tell when there is this uptick here. So what was actually occurring? What prompted this to move to the upside? Well, it's the same stuff that we saw when Luna collapsed, same stuff we saw when 3AC, 3 O's Capital collapsed, same stuff when Voyager collapsed. Every time you get these scary news stories, people start to take custody of their cryptocurrency more seriously. And in the case of FTX, I think it caused a lot of people to jump out of there. Not everybody made it out, obviously. But even after that, as additional scary news came in, like, so I'm presuming here, this is my suspicion. Yes, a lot of XRP was gotten off of FTX as additional scary news came, because I think a lot of those people actually honestly put it into just another, another cryptocurrency exchange that they were using, so not really truly self-custody. I think as additional scary news came, though, people on platforms the world over, not just FTX, because FTX had already halted trading and not, entered bankruptcy days ago. But why are we seeing these huge jumps? Well, because people are wising up, and that's brilliant. And nothing against you if you haven't engaged in self-custody for your XRP, but I strongly encourage you to at least consider it. There's pros and cons to anything that you do in terms of purchasing and holding a crypto. For me personally, though, the best way to do it is just it's self-custody here. So I think, yeah, exchanges the world over, people, as more additional scary news came in, and then the fear of additional contagions came in. People worrying about every exchange, even the ones that are truly operating in good faith and they're on the up and up. Okay, fine. Even if they are, though, you don't know for sure. Like, everybody thought FTX was operating on the up and up, except for some people who had, had done a bit of investigating, let's say, or had some information that wasn't privy to the world at large. And so it's not surprising to see this many new accounts, but that's not all that's going on here. There's additional things going on here. Take a look at this headline from you today. XRP draws traders' interest as volume jumps 111%. So volume through the roof, price jumping up substantially higher than any other large cap coin. And why might this be occurring? Well, I think it's reasonable to suppose that this might have something to do with the price action here. I don't know if it's exclusively this, but it's pretty reasonable to suppose this. Did you guys hear that Fox Business falsely reported that is expected that there would be a settlement in the SEC v. Ripple case tomorrow? Anybody catch that? I'm sure a lot of you are aware of that at this point, but in case you missed it, yes, that is a thing that happened. That's what I covered in great detail in my very last video. And it seems like it was actually an honest mistake. How that happened exactly, I don't know for sure. I have some suspicions on that. Maybe I'll save that for a separate video, though. But point being here, it could be, because eventually this circulated pretty widely, that there was a rumor of the settlement. And even though it doesn't seem likely to be true, maybe some people are thinking, okay, but what if it is? Maybe they were reporting they weren't supposed to. People think all sorts of interesting things, right? So I don't think, look, Fox Business has already come out and said, they apologize, it's an accident, okay? So to me, it seems like an open and shut case. Maybe we get surprised tomorrow. I do not believe that. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll be happily wrong. But no, I don't think there's going to be a settlement tomorrow. I really don't. But I think that some people are just hearing this news, or maybe they didn't hear that it was a mistake, and that started circulating. And I think it's reasonable to assume that that was probably a good part of the reason that the price started to move to the upside. It's just interesting here. But even outside of that, money is going into crypto. So fine, there's been mostly outflows just in general, especially with typical retail speculators out there who are really emotionally driven when it comes to important financial decisions, which is ridiculous, but that's just how it is. Take a look at this headline from the Daily Huddle. Institutional investors are buying the dip as FTX collapse creates massive crypto market discounts. CoinShares, that's who said that. A leading digital assets manager is finding that institutional investors are taking advantage of discounted crypto prices in light of the FTX-fueled market crash. In its latest digital asset fund flows weekly report, CoinShares says digital asset investment products had their highest inflows in 14 weeks. Now, again, to be clear, folks, we are talking about institutional money here. Highest inflows in 14 weeks at what is supposed to be the end of the world, the scariest time in crypto, which has set us back for 5 years. See, we are not set back by 5 years. There are some people you can find anecdotal instances. I wouldn't be surprised if that Ontario pension fund doesn't want to jump back into crypto for a while. Okay, fine, got it, because they lost $95 million. I understand. But there are always going to be those who see this as an incredible opportunity. Markets recover, and everybody that wants out, they'll get out. Maybe a lot of them already are out. Markets recover, and then you start to see a trickle of money back in at some point, however long it takes. And then you get to another point because things are cyclical to whatever degree, and then you see people really piling on, and then you get to that euphoric state. It's just human emotions causing this. It just is. So we'll get there again at some point in the future, and I do think it's more probable we're going to see some pain in the coming weeks and months ahead, perhaps. But I'm ready for that. I've got capital to deploy, and it's sitting on the sidelines. I haven't purchased crypto in roughly several days or so, but I made some major purchase for me. It's major money, at least for me. And happy to sit on the sidelines to see what happens next. But I'm really waiting for a next look. If I'm going to buy more, it's probably not going to happen unless we do see another leg down, which I think is certainly possible at this point. But again, I'm not saying that to scare you. It's like the bad stuff already happened. More bad stuff might happen. If more bad stuff happens, okay, it's not your fault. It's not my fault. It's okay to recognize that it's also an opportunity. Doesn't mean we're thrilled about the people who were harmed by it. I mean, we're all harmed by it if we're in crypto. But it's okay to be an adult, and it's okay to not sleep in bed all day and wallowing in misery. It's okay to just be an optimist and think, yeah, but there's still tons of opportunity out there, and there's still life-changing wealth opportunities in crypto. Like, that's fair too. That's perfectly reasonable here. But look at this. Here's the quote. Digital asset investment products saw the largest inflows for 14 weeks, totaling $42 million. The inflows began later in the week on the back of extreme price weakness prompted by the FTX/Alameda collapse, end quote. And most of it did go into Bitcoin. They cite here, I don't want to read the whole article, but you think you kind of got the gist of it here. But for Bitcoin, inflows over the time period were 19 million, it says here. So not too shabby. I mean, considering it's the end of the world, right? Or if it's not the end of the world, we're set back by 5 years. That doesn't sound too bad, does it? All things considered. I mean, it's all bad. I'm not making light of the situation, but come on. I think some people are just responding in an overblown fashion. That's mostly what I'm getting at here. That's it. And take a look at this headline from the Daily Huddle. Billionaire Mark Cuban says FTX blowup has little to do with crypto. Here's what he means. And the article's covering this thread right here. And I want to share it with you. Because long term, it makes sense to be super optimistic about the crypto space. Check this out. Here's what Mark Cuban had to say of Shark Tank fame. A basic question. Why have I invested in crypto? Because I believe smart contracts will have a significant impact in creating valuable applications. I have said from day one, the value of a token is derived from the applications that run on its platform and the utility they create. Pause. My entire investment thesis has been that utility matters and shall win the day. From the earliest days of me being in crypto in late 2017 when I jumped in, I firmly believed that back then. I believe it just as much today. And Mark Cuban believes the same thing. Maybe he's more interested here as smart contracts, super duper. But think about how this applies to other cryptocurrencies, including XRP. It's functionally useful in so many different ways. Mark Cuban continues. What has not been created is an application that is ubiquitous. One that is obviously needed by everyone and they are willing to go through the learning curve to use. Maybe it never comes. I hope and think it will. The best analogy I can use is the early days of streaming. The S-word people had to do to listen to a 16K stream of music was insane. An internet subscription for your dial-up modem, download the provider client, download a TCP/IP client, download the streaming client, click on a batch file on a website, make sure it all worked together, all while being laughed at for not just turning on your radio or TV, but for in office or out of market, it was worth it. It started as niche in 1995. Now realize that smart contracts are about 5 years old. Exactly. So it's not just going to magically all work right out the gate. That would be a lot of hoops to jump through. But I remember seeing David Letterman teasing Bill Gates, on his show, whichever one it was. Was it the Late Show? I get that one and the little one mixed up. Whatever the name, it doesn't matter. The one with David Letterman back when he had his show. He had Bill Gates on. It would have been like roughly the mid 90s, talking about the internet and the stuff that you can do with it. And then the joke was, everything you're saying the internet makes possible, it's already possible. We have TV, we have radio, we have all this stuff. We've got newspapers, all this crap. But no, you're just not understanding just how different this is. Not just the nuances, but in major ways how it would change the world. But, wouldn't expect them to naturally have all that foresight. But it's so obvious now, certainly, isn't it? I mean, even back then, if you really wanted to listen to news video from a particular market where you live, well, the only way to get it was to do it. You jump through all the hoops, and it was a niche thing, fine. But it worked, So Is what it is. I'm just saying, the reason I want to highlight that is I think it's cool. I think he's in a general sense on the right path here. And days will get better. Everything's going to be fine. I firmly believe that, just in a general sense. And this asset class is going to be so much bigger. There's so much reason to be excited. And I'm sorry for anybody that's harmed out there, but I mean, I've been harmed and I'm not choosing to just look at myself as a victim, even if I technically am just like everybody else in the space. I'm not going to look at it like that, even though my net worth is substantially down because of SBF, that little butt nugget. My God. But I'm not going to look at the world like that. There's too much opportunity here. I'm not going to cry over it. And I'm acting accordingly. That's it. That's purely it. And that's why I wanted to highlight this is a good message. He's in a general sense right here. I agree with Mark Cuban on this. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the Moon Family Sedan. Yay, we're excited about the sedan.